Have you ever had one of those incidents where you thought, and if I had just been 30 seconds earlier up the road, I could have been in a really bad crash? Or there was a wreck on my normal route home, and I'm glad I went a different route today. Personally, I think some of those close calls or near misses are just being in the right place at the right time, and some are divine intervention, and some are direct results of the way we ride a motorcycle. There's an old saying that says, the more I practice, the luckier I get. And I believe that to be true riding a motorcycle and applying good road skills and road strategy every time I ride. The more road skill I practice and the more road strategy I apply, the luckier I get out on the street. This week, let's hear the story of a friend of mine who applied good road strategy out on the street, and it saved her from a potentially life-threatening crash. Hey, if you're new here, my name's Kevin, and I host a weekly show here on MCrider focused on road skills or road strategy to help make you a better rider. This week, I'd like to introduce you to Tiffany. And Tiffany and I met a few years ago at the North Texas Motorcycle Challenge. I met Tiffany there, and she was the staff photographer for that event. And having slung a camera around myself at more than a few events like this, we hit it off, and I featured a few of Tiffany's photos in my video covering that event. Recently, Tiffany posted something on Facebook, and I asked her if she would shoot a short clip telling her story because I think there is something here that we all can learn from her event. So I'll turn it over to Tiffany to share her story.
Hey Kevin, Tiffany here. After a post I wrote on Facebook last week, you had reached out, asked if I would put this video together. Happy to oblige. Hopefully it will help somebody. Last week I was traveling home on my bike after work, just after 9 p.m. I came to an intersection. I was in the left turn lane. My light was red, waiting for the green light, and when it turned green, nobody else was at the intersection, but I observed the 3-second rule. And I just take my time getting into an intersection. I just really take a look, and sure enough, that night, as I looked right, a black sedan blew through the intersection going really fast. So I was very grateful, instantly grateful that I observed that 3 seconds and really make sure nobody's coming, the intersection is clear. As I entered the intersection, that black sedan had crossed over into a northbound lane and hit an SUV head-on. The SUV flipped. The front end of the black sedan was gone. It was a really high-impact, bad accident. Several of us stopped to assist. All three occupants were conscious. EMTs came. Everybody got transported to the hospital. One person did have critical injuries, but it looks that all three will be okay, which is great news, of course. But as I've had a little time to think about it, the things that we practice, waiting, hesitating before going into an intersection, our following distance, looking through the curve, lane positioning, everything that we're taught and that we practice, we don't practice those things because those situations happen every time. We practice those things for the rare moment where it does happen. And I think it was Tuesday night, I was very grateful for the things that I've learned and the things that I really do put into practice. I haven't been riding long, a little over a year, pretty consistently almost every day I ride to work. So it's not a super far distance, but it's definitely enough. I'm out on the street, and there's definitely times where I have to put these lessons into practice. So that's my story. I'm grateful everybody's okay, and I'm grateful I hesitated. It's kind of ugly to think about what would have happened had I just gone into the intersection without waiting and hesitating, making sure that it was safe to do so. So there you have it. I hope this helps. I hope this gives your followers something to think about. Of course, if we're riding motorcycles, there's always something to be thinking about when we're in control of these bikes. So have a great day. Happy holidays. Thank you.
Something Tiffany said in her video when she was talking about road strategy really stood out to me. She said, we don't practice those things because those situations happen every time. We practice those things for the rare moment when it does happen. Having good road skills like those taught in a motorcycle training class or here in the field guide Or applying good road strategy is like having another tool in the tool belt. Hey, look, a car just pulled out in front of me. Here's a tool in the tool belt to avoid that situation. Emergency braking or brake and escape or swerving. Or I'm on a busy 4-lane highway. Where can I position my motorcycle to see and be seen? Does having the proper lane position save you from every bad possibility out on the road? No, but it does give you a statistical advantage over those who are not doing it. Let's say it reduces your chance of a crash by 1%. You are now 1% safer than the rest of the population out there using bad lane position. Add to that following distance, I'm going to give that 3% because I think following distance is huge in applying a good road strategy. Always riding sober, 5%. Emergency braking skills, 3%. Looking far enough up the road, 3%. Now these numbers are just off the top of my head, but you get the picture. The more tools you have in the tool belt, the more prepared you are for anything that the road can throw at you. Now, Tiffany didn't state this in her video, but I would venture to say that this was the first time she had ever witnessed a car run a red light and crash directly in front of her. Yet for this intersection, the ones before it, and I bet the vast majority of intersections in the future, you can bet Tiffany is going to make sure traffic is stopping before she rides her motorcycle into the intersection. And odds are that she'll never witness another incident like she saw the other night. But as Tiffany said, you practice good road strategy for the rare moments when things do go south. You see, on a motorcycle and life in general, you sometimes don't get a chance to make the same mistake twice. I have an entire playlist of videos dealing with the subject of road strategy, but if you don't apply it, they're just empty words. Once you have a basic control of your motorcycle, having a good road strategy is one of the most important things you can do to protect yourself on two wheels. Will a scenario come up every time you ride that road strategy saved you from a horrible crash? No. But it is a fair bet that good road strategy techniques, when combined and applied on a consistent basis, will protect you from at least one really bad situation, if not more. You see, the more I practice, the luckier I get. Till next week, guys, this is Ken with MCrider, and I'll see you on the road. There are multiple ways to support the channel. You can become a member on YouTube at mcrider.com/member, or support the channel through Patreon at mcrider.com/support. Either way, you'll get full access to the forum and the field guides, which will further the training that we release here on a weekly basis.